Namaste, welcome and suswagatam to Gyan Ganga, Words of Wisdom on our Virat Hindustan Sangam social media channels. It is Sunday, 8 p.m. And as you know, we have this program every Sunday. And today we are back with another interesting topic. Is the Indian economy failing slowly? Uh, and with this, we will be discussing with Dr. SUBRAMANIAN SWAMY for the next 45 minutes on this very important topic. And as you know, the budget is also around the corner at the end of the month or the 1st of February. And so we'll be discussing this topic. I thank our viewers across the globe for their support week after week as you keeping tuned in to our channel, which are on all social media. And we also would request our viewers to subscribe to our Virat Hindustan Sangam YouTube channel and also join and strengthen Virat Hindustan Sangam by visiting our website www.vhsindia.org, where you will get all the details. So today, as you know, we have started this series on highlighting historical figures who have been forgotten or not correctly projected. So today we bring you a story of a legend from Tamil Nadu, and we will be playing the video clip and display the thing of V. Pandya Kattabomman, and we will be hearing his video or listening to the video very shortly.
Let's dive into the story of Veerapandya Kattabomman, a valiant Palayakarar from Panchalankurichi, Tamil Nadu. Born in 1760, Kattabomman was not just a ruler, but a symbol of defiance against colonial rule. Kattabomman ascended to power in 1790 and was known for his staunch resistance to British taxation. His refusal to acknowledge British sovereignty set the stage for conflict. In 1798, tensions escalated when Kattabomman killed a British officer during a heated tax negotiation. This act of rebellion made him a target, but it also ignited a spirit of resistance among local rulers. Despite being outnumbered, Kattabomman led his forces in a fierce battle at Panchalankurichi. Although he eventually escaped the fort, the fight was far from over. Betrayed by the king of Pudukottai, Kattabomman was captured in 1799 and executed. His sacrifice was not in vain. It inspired many to continue the fight against British rule, contributing significantly to what would later be known as India's First War of Independence. Kattabomman's legacy lives on, celebrated in Tamil Nadu through memorials and festivals, reminding us of his undying spirit for independence.
So this is the legend's history from Tamil Nadu. So we have been highlighting all these important historical figures which have been not brought up in our textbooks or part of our mainstream media. So this is part of our series of highlighting our historical figures who have fought the invaders, the British, the Mughal rules, and the Muslim rules. So this is part of our series. We'll have the Hindi display also. With this, we now go to Dr. SUBRAMANIAN SWAMY for initiating today's discussion. We also have our team member, just as you know, Professor Arvind Chaturvedi and Ramesh Swamy. And today we are also joined by our colleague T.K. Swaminathan, who also will give his expert comments on today's interesting topic. Over to Dr. Swamy.
Thank you, Jagdish. It's a situation where we have to now seriously examine in which direction we are moving in the economy, because India is a country of 1.4 or more than 1.4 billion people, And if these people in large numbers revolt, we will have a catastrophic situation. We will be in great difficulty. All our democracy, everything will be ruined. So the question is it going to be so serious that people are going to revolt like this? They haven't revolted in the past, but they revolt now? Well, those whom I have talked to in the government who deal with the law and order situation, they are all a little concerned, because it's at the moment is happening by states here and there, but they think that there is a major problem, the economic problem that has come. So that's why I said, let us look at the data and see how it is. I'd like to say, first of all, that the claim that had been made earlier, that India is shining, this is happening, wonderful. Modi has now created a heaven in India. Even of course, all this hasn't lasted very long. The first dip in our economic growth took place in when the numbers which were there for the various aspects of the economy, they were going down. So we started off by the claim of something like a 6.5% growth rate in 2016. But every year the rate of growth went down. And some of the steps taken by the Prime Minister actually worsened it. For instance, a demonetization that came about, and which was a fiasco, and it had a huge impact. So by 2020, the growth rate was down to for the first quarter of that year of 2020, it had come down to just 3.5%. Then what happened is recovery took place, and but before the recovery could cross even 1 year, Corona came, and so it fell down some 11 or 12% growth rate became minus. And so after the Corona was over, the recovery started. So today, when we look back and the government people say, no, in 2013, 14, or 2023, 23, the growth rate is gone to 6.5%, 7%. Then 2024 also, it is they're putting it as a high number. But the fact is that these are all recoveries, and they are not genuine economic growths. That is the reality that is now dawning on the economists of our country, who were too afraid earlier, perhaps, to speak out openly against it. When they said there are all these figures that are being floated, are really manufactured, in the sense that if you change the base of the calculation, you can make even a decline into a rise. So supposing tomorrow you're till earlier on we were having a base of 2011, 2012, and then working out the growth rate on that basis. Then you bring it up down to 2020, and then you start doing the calculation. Of course, it looks larger than it is. So all these things which, if you're an economist, you will do is sit down and do all this, rework the whole thing. And Paul Samuelson and Simon Kuznets, two great economists whom I worked under, they revolutionized the theory of index numbers, and they revolutionized national income and all that. And that's how today we are in a position to know the truth. So the truth is that we are not growing at 6% and 7% because the government and the finance ministry is cheating us by moving the base year into a later year, which means because of inflation, the figures look larger. So today, I would say the growth rate is declining, and it is now being accepted. It is coming in newspapers. It's coming in there. India's, the Indian economy is losing strength, and now even in foreign countries, people are starting. Is India running into a problem, and so on? So I think what I would like to say to you today is, basically what has happened is there has been hardly any investment. Everything has gone into all kinds of things which money has been splurged. If there's unemployment has grown, there have been no efforts being made about it. Then they have raised this collection of funds, collection of taxes. They brought in all kinds of new schemes that has completely confused everybody. So today, I think we are probably a country with probably the worst financial arrangements that we have. And I don't think that the finance ministry has a voice at all, because it is all done by the prime minister's officials who are there in his office. They produce it, they send it to the finance ministry, and the finance ministry then comes and makes a statement in parliament. She herself doesn't know any economics, so it's not a surprise that she would welcome somebody else to give her a copy of it. In these circumstances, I would say the following, that we must now, if we want to know the exact position that we are in a state of inflation. There's no doubt about it that everything is rising. Look at even the rupee dollar rate, how much it has gone. It has gone now to 87 or 86.5 or something like that. And how are you going to deal with this? Such a high thing. When we took over from the Congress Party or the UPA or whatever it was called, the exchange rate was 65 rupees. Even that was very high. When Morarji Desai was prime minister, it was only 8 rupees to a dollar. And today it has now gone to 86 per dollar. And I'm sure that in another year, we will probably be at 90 per dollar. That means that we are paying much more for our imports than we are paying before, and that itself will be extremely inflationary. So I would say unemployment. Why is the unemployment there? Because the workers are in a situation where if they are unionized, they create a problem, and the people now the business people, they find it easier to close down and go away. Now, a large number of businessmen have gone abroad. This is coming in the newspaper. They are building factories outside the country. So what is emerging is that the government doesn't have an economic program. The government doesn't have an economic policy. And this is putting us in, all we are being is bluffed and told that we are growing at such a thing, we are wonderful, India is a Vishwa Guru, and so on and so forth. All this, and the media, of course, has got his arm twisted, so they say exactly what the government wants to say. So what we should be discussing is how should we change it. Now, after all, it's very simple economics. You want to accelerate the growth rate, and the growth rate can be accelerated if you use the money for investment efficiently, and that means the cost capital output ratio or something of those things have to be brought down. You can't just throw money and expect to get good results. And second, you must be able to distribute this money to the most needy people, people who are on the end thing. We have no income tax for agriculture, but we have income tax for urban sector. And in the urban sector, the rich have got chartered accountants and this and that. They can weave around the whole thing. And the people who are below the poverty line, they don't pay taxes because they are not in the tax system at all. So it's the middle class. And these are often very young people who are coming, who are in a mood to invent and create this thing. They are being harassed. And there is now a huge income tax official group who will come and extract a bribe from you, and then they will enable you to file some kind of a income tax thing. So in my opinion, unless we abolish income tax, and there's no big deal. I mean, I don't understand. People get shocked when I say that income tax should be abolished. How much is, what percentage of income tax is of your total revenue? It's not 100%. It's not even 50%. It is not even 40%. It is not even 25%. What are you worried about? And if supposing we abolish income tax today and say there will be no income tax, just like there's no income tax in agriculture, there will be no income tax in the urban sector. So once you abolished it, that money, what do you think people are going to do? They're going to eat it? People who are going to invest it. And if you got that money, you put that in, the economy starts growing, and therefore employment comes and people become happier. So I don't understand where this is the British who created this, that there's something sacred about income tax, because they wanted income tax to collect it for running this, so paying the soldiers and so on. So in this context, we have to now have radical policies. But there's no economist in the finance ministry. There's no economist or at least an economist who has done some technical work in the field of economics, and so having Shakespearean analysis of what the economist is supposed to know. So what we are having today in India, in the government of Mr. Narendra Modi, is a people who are reduced everything into bureaucracy. And the bureaucracy produces a file and gives it, and it is read out in parliament, and there's nobody has expertise enough to work on it, and there's a hangama for all kinds of things. So then it gets passed by voice vote. There's not been a proper debate on the question of the budget in the last 3-4 years. So therefore, I would say today, if somebody says what we should do immediately, abolish income tax. Just say from tomorrow, no income tax for the next till further notice, and we are we'll certainly not bring back income tax for the next 10 years. And if you say that, of course, you'll get 10 years election also for you in your favor. But that's another reason. The real reason is that you want to clean up the thing, you abolish it, and then tell the people that if you put this money into fixed deposit, we'll give you 9% interest rate. Not the 6% they are getting today or 5% they're getting. 9% you'll get. That money you can use for investment. So this is economics. It's a way where one thing connects to another thing, and then it creates a new situation. So therefore, today I would say Modi is leading us down into the ditch. And like in America, we will have a major breakdown of our economy, and we are very near to it. And there will be mass unemployment. People will come out of the streets, and then, of course, some kind of change may possibly come, as it happens in every other place when there's a revolution, a new government comes and things change. So today I'm saying that the anger in the people is very strong, and the workers are very angry. The rich have all packed off and large numbers have gone out of the country, or they have such good friends as they have. Adani has with Narendra Modi, that kind of thing, so they feel secure. So I would say we are literally in a revolutionary situation. The economy is likely to create a very, very bad situation in the coming 2 years, and certainly the process will begin by this coming September. And so I'm pleading to our people, please force the government to do the right thing, which is start by providing the poor people a basis for survival, and then the middle class, and of course, make the rich happy by having no income tax. This is the way to go. I have written a book about it called Reset. So, reset the Indian economy, and that can be done very easily. Then I think we have a future in the country to become not only, instead of the today fifth or sixth as we are dropping down, may end up very soon to be the challenger to the Americans after overtaking the Chinese. Thank you very much, Mr. Jagdish. Over to you.
Sir,
Arvind Chaturvedi.
Dr. Swamy, you have narrated the current situation in a very concise manner, and you have covered almost all points. Different economists will have different views, but I think all economists will be unanimous on these issues that planning in India has gone wrong. And if the planning in India in last even 10 years that they claim, if it was not wrong, then all the ills that we see in the economy would not have been seen today. What I'm more concerned about is people do not have money to spend. Consumption is going down. Savings rate has gone below 20%. India, which used to be number one in the world, having even 30% household savings rate, now something because of COVID, and even after COVID, the recovery has not taken place in savings because people don't have money. So number one, savings rate has gone down. The economy can only be strengthened. One of the manner is that people should have money. They should have money for consumption, and they should have savings, then they will spend. Second thing is, I'm really surprised. Last almost 60 years of planning, we have not seen positive balance of payment in international trade. All the time, whether you talk about 50s or 60s or 70s or 80s or whatever, even economic reforms has not done the reversal. Our imports are much more than the export, despite of the several policies which we have had for import replacement policies, import substitution policy, and encouragement to exports and all that. Now the dollar is going up and the rupee is going down, so maybe exporters are happy. But the thing is, can we do something in our economy, basic thing, which can change the balance of payment from negative to positive? The third thing, which is very serious concern, Dr. Swamy, in my view, and which I've been saying whenever we discuss economic issue, the income and expenditure inequality has been growing since independence. In fact, a very recent study which was published by Business Standard newspaper in the first week of January, it has compared the 1955 with 2023-24. And they say the Gini coefficient shows that income equality both for rural areas and urban areas has gone up. That means whatever economic reforms we have had in last 35 years, economic reforms have done some help to the economy, but rich people have become richer and poor people have become poorer. The worst situation is the bottom 10% people whose share in the income is below or just about 2%, which used to be 3% at the beginning of the economy planning in 1955 or so. The fourth issue, of course, we all know that going down the value of rupee, it's crossed 86. Now people say it will soon touch century, and if no correction is done, and of course people who support Modi, they say that it's not only rupee which is going down, all the Asian currency was all down, but rupee has done it has shown some resilience, and it has not gone down so much as the other currencies. And the last thing is, Dr. Swamy, you can elaborate on this, which is very important. Modi government has planned 1947 as the target for Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat in what sense? Do we have a step-by-step policy, a step-by-step plan that this is what is going to be done? Whatever has suffered, whatever reasons our economy has suffered, have we planned from 2025 to 2047? Are we planning anything? There's no white paper on this.
Yeah. Well, you give me a number of suggestions, and it's good enough to write another book. Let me start with the point that I want to make, which is today there's a lot of depression. Everywhere I go, I see it in aeroplanes. I see it when I'm going to the market in Delhi to buy something. So people see me, and then they come and surround me and then start asking questions. So there's a depression that, nothing is going right. So start with something. Whether it's a rich, poor, don't get into all that. I would say the first thing you do is you abolish income tax. All right. The day you do it, there will be so much celebration, you can't believe it. It's more the harassment that they have been facing all these years, the corruption that it is, and so on. So, and what is it that you're saying? This is not a difficult thing to do. You're just saying don't pay income tax from April 1 of the coming year. So that's how you start. Now that money goes not into anybody's hands except the hand of the people who pay income tax. So what they're going to do, either they're going to invest or they're going to buy things and so on, which will start moving the machinery of the companies and the industries and so on. So this process starts. It creates a hope that something is happening. Otherwise people give all this big talk and all these jargons and so on. And people just get confused and nothing happens. That's what has happened in the last 10 days or 10 years, where Modi will say something, some arithmetic, which he gets it wrong because he hasn't been good. He hasn't been, his education being very weak. So he can't even tell 2 + 2 = 4, that kind of situation it is. And then yet he will go on giving for the young children this kind of thing. And we don't want that. We want action where it reaches people. Next thing you say, if you have a fixed deposit in a bank, we'll give you not 6%, 4%, we'll give you 9%. How is the difficulty? People say, no, where will you get the money? Where will the banks get the money? I said, print them. So he said, how can you print them? What do you mean how can you print them? You print them, and the problem will arise if you just print them and there are no goods there. Today we have a large number of companies which have got excess capacity lying because they are not able to sell, and they don't want to. They want to create it. So if the government asks me which are the steps to be taken, I can't give this government, because this government is a dishonest government when it comes to intellectual matters. So they will say ha, and then nothing will happen. I will say this is a way you can do it. I am giving it to you. You do it yourself. I don't have to do it. Or we have to bring about a change. I mean, the people who can bring about a change in the present government, get some people who are educated people, not cinema stars and that kind of thing that you pack them with. And people who have been in politics, who know what politics is all about. So I would say, take this 10 tax system which Mr. The tax collection system which Mr. Jaitley brought. What is it?
GST. GST.
Huh?
GST.
GST. It's the most crazy thing. I mean, it drives everybody nuts in preparing for it. What is it? And now they have acquired all the state money also. The state which was collecting money by their own taxes, they are not getting it. They have to beg for it from the central government. So I think all in all these things can be solved, but it requires somebody who's sincere for it, and it should be someone who say, well, this is the only way to do it, and otherwise we'll be just getting bluffed, and we're told Vishwaguru is coming, and this is coming, that is coming, and nothing of the kind happens, and we are losing our territory to China, where we are not, this money is not going to defend the country. Whatever money is going, I think Adani is taking it to and getting caught in America on that. So in these circumstances, there is a lot of depression in the country. We have got to get out of this depression. And the only way to do it is to show some big changes, not just announcing changes, but seeing it in practice. And I would say start with abolishing income tax. And all those who put fixed deposits, their interest rates will go up to 9%.
Dr. Swamy, there's a question from the viewer that about this foreign portfolio investors flow out, which is a record high in recent time, and the stock market also is showing quite a big decline. So some of the viewers want to know this aspect of the economy also.
I only believe in market. All these are things which put a blockage on the marketing system of the. If you have dollars, sell it to us for rupees. There should be a rate of exchange. Either you have a market system like the Americans have it, or you can fix it like the Chinese fix a number. I mean, when Morarji Desai was Prime Minister, our exchange rate between the dollar and the rupee was 7 rupees to a dollar. Today it is what? Going to be almost 90 now. It's already 86 rupees per dollar, today's exchange rate. And all these are got nothing to do with the market. It's all done by people who can manipulate the system. So therefore, I would like to see it being done in that way rather than take this system, that system. I'm not interested. I'm saying you do your job. I will only make it very easy for you to be able to buy, sell, put your money in the bank and withdraw from the money from the bank. All that I will streamline.
Dr. Swamy, a viewer from Gujarat wants to know that you are critical of the economic policy of Mr. Modi, but they want to know whether there is any other capable person in the BJP who can give good leadership and make economic changes in the BJP, or whether there is a group of leaders he wants to know, because they are frightened that when you say Modi is not capable, they think that Congress or the opposition will come to power. They want some clarity on this.
No, there is no question about it. If Modi continues, Congress is bound to come. People have already started. What happened to Modi's own, performance in
2024
in Varanasi? And then, did we get a majority this time? Have they not already? The Congress has already put us in a minority position. Two people have come there to give us the additional numbers, and they will go anytime. I'm telling you, it will be only 3-4 months later. You will find yourself without a majority, and you will be out on the street. So these are. There's nothing to be afraid of. This is not. This is. If you want to be afraid of, it is with the present system. It's going to take you to the ditch. So try something else. And I tell you, the BJP even today has the largest number of talent, but the talent has all been sidelined. and because there is a feeling that if you bring somebody of talent, then he will become a challenger also for my prime minister's position. That kind of fear the present prime minister has, and therefore he doesn't want anybody of talent. So if somebody is not doing the work, then try somebody else and keep trying, getting more and more people. You will get people who will come and join you if they think that they are able to, without doing any hera-feri, they can enter and be a member of parliament of the party and as also a minister.
I think, Mr. Ramesh, before we go, let us hear Mr. T.K. Swaminathan, who has some points and presentation to make. T.K. Swaminathan ji.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy and VHS for giving me an opportunity. I'll picking up threads from the abolition of income tax. I'll just start. In the recent concluded parliament session, it's interesting to note that only 6.68% of the population pays at least file income tax returns so far. So as you said, it's not much. Out of this, the income tax returns that's filed is close to 8 crores, and out of which close to 5 crores have filed a zero income tax return. So all in all, you have got only 3.2 crores who has filed income tax return, and in all humility, this 3.39 crore can be assured that it's not our taxes that's running the country. Therefore, as you rightly said, we can abolish this income tax and move on with this. Just a data piece. I have seen a lot of comments in terms of how this GDP is being structured, and there are a lot of questions in the comments and spaces around that. Just to give you GDP has like the 4 components of GDP is private expenditure, government expenditure, and one is the productive capacity, and the other one is the net earnings, export and import. What Dr. Swamy is referring to is this private consumption expenditure contributes to close to 60% of the GDP. That's where the entire cream lies. If you are going to improve a private consumption expenditure of 60%, all you need to is to have money in the hands of the people to do more. Either it could end up in a savings or in the form of asset creation or in the form of more expenditure, various avenues you have it. So unfortunately, the government so far from 47 to 24 have not focused on the 60% bucket, where you have more and more of the expenditure that's happening. Instead, where they have focused is the productive capacity of the industry, which is like 30% of its GDP, by offering tax incentives, by offering capital expenditure benefits and things like it. But this productive capacity of this industry has not translated into tangible benefits for the economy as such. It has done a bit, but to that extent of what the government tax incentives or tax breaks that's being given, it not translated into any tangible benefits for the economy so far. So what the corporate does is it enjoys the tax benefits, but it's not converting into a meaningful production by which it leads into more demand in the hands of public. And government expenditure, which contributes to 10%, just government keeps on doing it, but unfortunately it has not deducted any tangible benefits. So as prescribed by Dr. Swamy, if we focus on the 60% bucket, we can increase and enlarge the scope of the economy. It's not that he is saying out of thin air. I have his research papers. One is the distribution of income in India, which he has published in 67 and 68. The other one is dynamic personal savings functions and its long-run implications, where he has canvassed the whole of the world's GDP in different countries' GDP in various forms and legs, and concluded that if we abolish an income tax, the distribution of income will be on the hands of many people. So it's not like without that, we have an empirical research, and much of this research is available in his collected works. So interested people who are in the know-how of economy can do that. Coming to one more interesting data snippet which I have is, when we started like from 52 to late 80s, we and China were in the kind of a same position, where the GDP per capita was close to $300 to $330. In fact, we were in a much better position in compared to China. But In last few years, China has surpassed us tremendously. So now the GDP per capita in China is close to $12,700, whereas we are still lagging behind like $2,400. That's like the number of per capita in China has increased by close to 41%, whereas in India it's close to 8%. That's a huge lap which we have missed in the years between 90s to 2024, partly because of our government policies. We have not been able to incentivize our people to recycle the economy in a big way. That's a point which I'd like to add, that's the, and one more important, which adding annexure to what Arvind ji has said so far, is the government of India has released the advanced estimates of GDP for the financial year 2025. What they have done is they have taken 2024 data, extrapolated it for 2025. It's available in Ministry of Statistical India website, wherein it says that, our GDP is seeing at a lowest growth rate of last 4 years. So we have been growing at only 6.4%, and it's the lowest in last 4 years. As Dr. Swamy has been pointing out so far, our growth is not enough. And this number, if adjusted for inflation, will be even much worse.
That's
right? Which they have not commented it openly, but if you read the press records and statistics, you can know it for yourself. So the government is spinning it, showing one side of the picture of the graph, whereas if you read the other side, the growth is not attractive, the growth is not. This all reduction in lowest consumption that's happening with the people of India. Now you see a lot of debates has been triggered in terms of how people are not able to afford to buy a house, how the taxes is eating away much of their income, how people are earning 4 to 6 months of their salary goes on in taxes. In all humility, and again saying, VHS has been in the forefront. We have been highlighting these taxes, exorbitant taxes, for at least last 3 to 4 years, where people we are being squeezed. We don't have enough leg room to play with the life in terms of, and we are just one medical bill away from poverty. That's the situation which the middle class is being forced to do by government policies. We hope, at least in coming budget or in future budget, government have a serious relook into policy thinking into what's happening for the 60% bucket of production capacity, and therefore make ways and means to increase our GDP. That's all I would like to add.
Thank you, Swaminathan ji. Ramesh Swamy, you wanted to make a point. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Dr. Swamy, if there is one person who listened to your advice of abolishing income tax, it is unfortunately the Argentine president.
Yes.
See, last year, Dr. Swamy, Argentina was bankrupt. Totally bankrupt. Okay, they didn't have money. This year, now, in about a month ago, they published that they are now a surplus economy. Very simple. Yes. They said, he very simply said, for every one poor, I mean, forever, if the people who are paying taxes were just paying through their nose for people who are not paying, and basically in welfare system. You throw out one freebie after another, because even shamelessly, this so-called president of Janata, illegal president of Bharatiya Janata Party, JP Nadda, in 22 he claims, oh, we are not a freebie party. Now shamelessly comes on TV and says, proclaims that he's giving 21,000 for pregnant women, 2,500 rupees for woman every month. What are all this nonsense? Why are you giving free money to people? Why are you making them more lazy, Dr. Swamy? In an economy that is going down, you are doing the most stupidest thing possible on earth is to give money away. And why are you giving taxpayer money and you're squeezing the taxpayers left, right, and center on one end? Everywhere you turn, new taxes are being proposed, a new GST. Something or the other is getting something or the other is getting pushed as new tax regime. And as Swaminathan said, and everybody, I mean, the public in general are furious, Dr. Swamy. They're saying 6 months, 4 to 6 months of their earnings are just going away only in taxes. Now, how are they going to pay the EMI? Now, for the health insurance, everywhere there's a new GST being passed. I mean, this ridiculous idea of taxing for health insurance is very beyond normal common sense, Dr. Swamy, anywhere in the world. India is the only country that pretty much taxes for healthcare. I mean, they even after you die, I think even when you do Pitru Karma, I think this Nirmala Sitharaman will tax even Pitru Karma. I think that is the level to which this lady has gone bonkers to keep taxing people, because this anger and angst and the outpouring and the exasperation is seen across board, Dr. Swami, across the different social media channels. Because we see Twitter, we see YouTube, there are Reddit. Everywhere you go, people are frustrated because they are saying, okay, for all the tax that I'm paying, what am I getting back? At least basically, what am I getting back? Nothing. While here you go, there are people out in the streets who are getting 2,500 rupees a month for what? Nothing. So this frustration is just beyond control, and it is high time, Dr. Swami, that this spending, this just unbelievable spending by this government has skyrocketed in the name of freebies or opening this channel, opening this one, this bullet train, all this. They think that all this is building the economy. Unfortunately, it is not. It does not show in the number of jobs that are getting created. There are no jobs getting created, Dr. Swami, unfortunately. Because we have discussed this time and again, for jobs to be created, you need to invigorate the private sector. There is no incentive for the private sector to start any, because before you even start a plan, if I want to start a factory tomorrow, by the time I start the factory, my grandchildren will cut the ribbon. That is the status in which India is today. Because either that or they will suck me dry before even you start a factory, because it's some form pretext or the other. It is just absolutely not possible today for us to revive the economy, because in the top, when you think that all I'm going to do is throw away all the money like that I collect in taxes like this, it's not going to happen. As again, T.K. Swaminathan highlighted, 3 crores. Is it 3 crores? Something like that, right? How many people pay income tax, Swami?
3.1.
Yeah. What is that in terms of the population, Dr. Swami? Not even 1%, right? Swami, 1 or less than 1%?
Yeah.
2%.
2%, roughly. So 2% of the people pay income tax in a country, which is absolute ridiculous. And you continue to keep milking that 2%. How long can you squeeze it? Dr. Swami, that's the Jagdish brought out, who is the leader. I'm being very blunt. If you are not the next finance minister or prime minister, this country is your country. Rather, let me put it this way: your country is doomed.
Ramesh, just let me add one point to income tax. You see, if you look at the share of individual income tax and share of corporate income tax, what is happening in last few years?
It is
inverse. Income tax share is going down and corporate income tax is going down.
Ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Yeah. So it is reverse. Whom the government of India is saving? For whom the government of India is working? Is it working for the sector or for the common man?
Arvindi, what is the definition of the common? Let me be very clear. It is not the common man anymore, because this government has created a class. 3
middle class.
Classes.
Let's talk about middle class.
Yeah. There is a rich, poor, and the idiots in the middle. That's all. who pay through their nose, who have no chance. They have to pay everything. They have to pay direct taxes. They have to pay indirect taxes, right from birth to death, or even after death. There is no solution to this, because if you have an idiot running, if you have a complete idiot and a clown running, you expect if you have a clown as a leader, you expect a circus. That's what they say. There's a problem, and that's what we are seeing today. With no clue of what an economy is, because the prime minister has zero knowledge of economy. Even in mathematics, A plus B whole square, he says 2AB is extra. So he doesn't know math. He doesn't know economy. He doesn't know science. He doesn't know anything but Jumla. Okay, so you keep on doing Jumla one day and after another. At what point will the people? The people. Of all the people, the poor are very clear. They know that this guy is doing Jumla, and it's okay. We will enjoy the Jumla and get the money and sit. The rich says, okay, this guy is he's the Jumla guy. We just appease him. We'll keep holding our money. And the middle people are the people who believe, the educated class, a little bit educated. Some of those idiots believe that Modi is doing correct. I'm sorry, Dr. Swami, all this rant or all this angst is not coming from me, because I'm not personally impacted. But at the end of the day, you see a lot of these things. I still feel for all the people who are paying income tax in India.
Ramesh, just want to add, the 2,500 which we spent for women, apparently as per some reports, we have also spent a few lakhs and crores for some American women as well.
Yeah. No, that we will spend. That see, that is purely on diamond basis. So that is fine.
Yeah.
Recently there is again a news item. I don't know, Jagdish, how far it's true. Now Fadnavis wants to go, is asking the women who are not eligible for this Ladli Ben Yojana or something to give back the money. Dr. Swami, what world are they living in, Dr. Swami? How can you go get the money back from the people?
And why did they get it if they were not entitled?
Dr. Swami,
Arvind,
Yes.
Dr. Swami, lot of resentment amongst the youth, the educated youth, on employment opportunities.
Yes.
Our government promised a lot of employment. Modi is on record, his videos are there saying so much jobs will be created. But unfortunately, we are discussing the Indian economy failing, and one of the indicators are there is lot of unemployment, and youth who even after becoming engineers or doctors don't find appropriate jobs. They may get something which is inferior, which is not what they got trained or educated for. Any comments on this?
Yes, it's a very big topic. You see, the companies which employs people now find machines to substitute for them, because the fact of the matter is that they are not in a position to be able to manage these employees, because if the employees come together, if they want to make demands and all this, they want to escape from that. So this is a big topic. We should have a separate hearing on it, because employment has to come is a very, very important subject, and it is so complicated as to how employment is generated and who are the beneficiaries and who are the losers. All this has to be put before the public to know that where the government is completely failing in addressing the problem.
I have one question for Arvindji and Swaminathan. So, Arvindji, do you have any data on the so-called Agnivir Agnipath scheme? I mean, has it really generated that many? Have they? I mean, people who have come on. I think it has been 4 years now since they announced it, roughly.
Yes, yes.
Has it really resulted in anything?
Recruitment is going on, and there are a large number of people who have completed the term and they have come out.
What are they doing?
Question is, what do they do after they complete the 4-year term? Whether government is going to provide them jobs. You see, we had discussed in the last budget, government had provided jobs, they had provided guarantee for corporate sector or internship. Now the figures are so unrealistic, and that's what we discussed. It comes out to be 20,000 interns per company. Can a company of any size have 20,000 interns? Nobody believes this data, and I think we should also, is becoming like Chinese data. Nobody believes the Chinese data in India, world over, and the same thing is 53 crores mudra loan. Can you believe? In a country of 140 crore people, more than 40 crores people are availing mudra loan. That means every third person. I mean, nobody looks at these figures when government dishes out this data. And the data is so unrealistic, so unbelievable. I mean, you can always keep on questioning, but nobody is answering. We say poverty level has gone down. Poverty level has gone down. 82 crores people are getting 5 kilo ration. Out of 140 crores, 82 crores are getting free ration. Are they not poor? If they're not poor, why don't you ask them to give up the scheme like you did for LPG? When Narendra Modi took over, he appealed to people, those who can afford, they should give up the subsidy. Now he can say, my mistake that I provided ration to 82 crore people. Those who can afford to buy ration, they should give up the scheme. This is fooling the people.
Dr. Swami, one other anecdote, Doctor. I mean, more of a fact. Close to 10 lakh crore of NPAs. 10 lakh crore have been written off, Dr. Swami, in the past 20 years. 10 lakh crores. Dr. Swami, where is this money from? Where is the source of the money? Income, again, taxpayers' money or some form, shape or the other. People are paid into the system. This is not printed money. 10 lakh crores, you write off all the rich people, walk away. What about, and obviously you got to keep squeezing. Somebody was creating that tax income, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm going to jump in if you want to.
No, this Dr. Swamy has got a case on this RBI's responsibility towards the creation of ANPA, that's at SECI. But this is made possible by the law created by Narendra Modi government, that is the Bankruptcy Code, IBC. What they do is you take a haircut. In the name of haircut, you cut everything except the head is gone now for the bank. But then you let away with them very partial amount by paying like 1 or 2% or 5%. So many saw a business opportunity of buying a huge loan and take the write off and be quiet for 5 years and then resurface again in some form or the shape. That's what is happening in IBC. Time that either IBC is tracked down or it's being monitored at the severe level, because it's become a business racket for many people to take loan and then go for a write-off.
Yes.
Dr. Swamy, a general comment, people want to have your reaction. Earlier on, the Kejriwals or the Sri 420s and some of these opposition parties tried and said about this, gave freebies like what many states have done. But now, even BJP for the last 1 or 2 years has jumped into the bandwagon, and like they're doing it in Maharashtra, Ladli Behn Yojana, or for that what's happening with the manifesto announced for the Delhi election, the freebies. You are an economist, so we want the viewers want to know your comments on this freebie culture and its impact on the economy.
Well, you see, when you give something free, in order to create that to be given, you have to spend money. Where is that money coming from? The whole,
Exactly.
Next
Where is
slide,
the
go
money
ahead.
coming from?
Yes, Dr. Swamy, go
So
ahead.
therefore, what will happen is that these foolish people, they may not have income tax. They may not be they may be below the income tax level, but then the water level, water price will go up. The electricity price will go up. That's how they do it. This is exactly what this Kejriwal has done. He has done these things, and then he has raised the taxes on or the levies on other things which people pay, and they have to pay. Supposing there's a question of putting a jamatar in a jhabarbatti, it will be collected from that area, and they will have to pay. So one way or the other, they collect it, and that immediate freebie, that is what they rely on, and then they always do it when the elections are there. And once the elections are over, then you see they will collect it from the very same people.
So in short, you are saying it's counterproductive for a developing economy.
Absolutely, because this is not the way for the market to prosper. Market, you're in one market, you're making into zero, and then you are adding it later on for another market, in the sense, or whether the government money goes into which market and all, it's up to the government. But the fact is, the money goes to the government via some kind of tax.
No, funny thing is that Narendra Modi in several election schemes earlier made fun of these revdi. He said free revdi ka baant rahe hain, free revdi. Now they are repeating whatever Aam Aadmi Party has promised in the manifesto which was released day before yesterday. Same thing has been repeated, but more. Kejriwal promised 2100 rupees, 2100. BJP says 2500. So on one hand, you have been criticized. Even Supreme Court had made a comment on this, the freebies, but it has become now the part of the election process.
I think we are running out of time, so
yes,
I think we'll have another discussion on the topic again. And
but Dr. Swamy, there's one question I want. How do we stop? Is there a way for to tell the banks, the government, to stop writing off these NPAs? Like Anil Ambani, who owed 48,000 crores, he got away with 400 crores. Who makes these decisions, Dr. Swamy? At the end of the day,
decision made by the Prime Minister.
but Is there not a? I mean, how
This
will
kind of level, it can't be done by the finance minister.
48,000 crores? Where is 1%? He owed 48,000 crores. He walks away with 400 crores.
The question is, their question is not that. The question is who's going to protest, and how many places will you protest?
Yeah, because the rich are not going to protest because they're benefiting. The poor don't care. The middle class can't protest because they're anyway going to get squeezed again.
Poor can't. Poor have got so many other things to do. You see, middle class can't do because they don't want to lose whatever whatever positions they have. They will be targeted. It will be very easy to browbeat them. This has to be done by political parties, but the political parties are themselves complicit. You have rules by which the political parties have to use black money to conduct the election. I don't understand why there need to be a law which says you can't spend more than so much. You have to just require a law saying that you have to give a honest amount, a bill, or you have to tell us how much you spent in an honest way. That's all. We keep that as a record. That's all. If you spend on an election, there's nothing wrong with making it tax exempt.
And Dr. Swamy, one biggest thing, again, from an economic standpoint, India's richest people are just getting away from the country. They say, boss, at any point in time, they can put my hands on me. They're all leaving India in droves. Even that is a recent statistic. That's thousands and thousands of rich people are leaving India and says, I don't want to do anything here because they've made the money and they're running away. How will the economy grow, Dr. Swamy? At every point, if you look at it, because if you look at agriculture has been screwed completely because it has been gone beyond because the farmers are protesting everywhere else. Agriculture is gone. Manufacturing is again at the lowest level. At what point in time is India how are they going to keep feeding this? Because we're just going back to the old era of just keep feeding money, give freebies, bankrupt the country. Instead, on the contrary, we should be doing the opposite because India is a land of opportunity. We have the intellectual capital, we have the age capital, we have the facilities to do, but we're still not taking, given where US wants to replace a lot of the corporations in the US, want to find an alternate source to China. India is not doing anything to address them, Dr. Swamy. It is sad that we are losing out an opportunity because every 6 months, some election or the other comes. And we have a guy who keeps jumping between one election to another saying, oh, we have to do this one jumla or the other. Amazing the amount of money that number of people, first of all, the money being written off, a number of rich people leaving India.
Ramesh, just to add, I heard from media reports that Trump is going to form an external revenue service wherein he is going to identify the channels, how the money is going out of US and make a task force to bring it back.
No, that is more to do with collecting tariffs. Okay, I think it is an idiotic idea because whenever you create a new government department, it never dies. I am against creating any new government department. You create one department with 10 people, in 10 years, it will become 10 million people. They should never create a new government department. In fact, on the contrary, you should be cutting back. I completely disagree with it. I don't want to digress from what we are talking today. Never create a new government department. It will never work anywhere in the world. I think it is a very wrong move that to create a new external revenue department. What is external revenue? Anyway, sorry.
Okay, Arvind, take over.
Thank you. It was such an interesting discussion. I'm sure the viewers who have watched the program today, they must have benefited. But the question is, planners, those who do the planning. In fact, I asked in the morning when I was tweeting about today's program, whether Narendra Modi is going to watch it. Narendra Modi has, as Dr. Swamy says, he has very little knowledge about economy and is dependent on bureaucrats. And so is our finance minister. But at comes to economic planning, 4 years back, 5 years back, when Dr. Swamy wrote this book, Reset. It is a blueprint for saving and recovering of Indian economy from the losses that it has suffered in the past. And if even 10% planners in the government follow this book, I think they can take the economy forward and do something wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Swamy, for repeating your ideas, maybe some kind of lessons for the people in the finance ministry, since the budget is on the way. But I'm not sure whether they are seriously going to implement. There are a lot of suggestions, though there are many topics which we could not discuss. For example, Jagdish said about unemployment. We may need another full discussion on unemployment. I mean, we have such failures, like huge failures like Manrega and others, where the minimum wages is a peanut given to the people for 100 days in the name of 100 days. But there are so many other issues. And as I said, the most important thing which Modi government is planning, or at least the highlighting, is the Viksit Bharat 2047. And I think there has to be a blueprint or a white paper. Yes, Ramesh, you want to add something just now?
I don't know how you said that word. I was just one point to make. I'm really sorry to interrupt. Dr. Swamy, your friend and Modi's friend, Arvind Panagriya, has said on 17th of January, 2 days ago, that Modi inherited a bad economy from UPA when 1 century ago, but still they're blaming UPA for all what is happening today. And he's saying, this is what he said. He said the growth rate of 7.6% is achievable through the Viksit Bharat by 2047. So he is not promising 7.6 today. All this $5 trillion economy, 10% growth rate, all this nonsense that have been peddling is all gone. They're saying 7.6% we'll achieve in 2047. None of us listening to it, most of us listening today are probably, might not be there to see this to a large extent. I don't know how long we'll be there. But 2047, this man claims that we will achieve 7.6% growth rate.
Oh, not only that, they want 25 trillion economy.
It is a shame for a person of that stature who's teaching in one of the biggest universities in at least in America, and NYU and at this level, and talking such nonsense, saying that we will achieve 7.6% by 2047.
If we could achieve, why did he resign and go? They are targeting for 2047 $25 trillion economy. Do you think it is achievable by?
They have said all this. No, one there's but Piyush Goyal said 30 trillion. Every day there is some new number. कुछ फेक ना है ना अरविंद जी, कुछ भी फेक लो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? एक ही नंबर है ना, 30 ट्रिलियन क्या फर्क पड़ता है, 100 ट्रिलियन क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
Even if we have become the third largest economy in PPP terms, fifth largest economy, and we are on the way of being fourth largest economy in PPP terms, but look at the rank of per capita GDP. Per capita GDP, we are still 141 rank. I mean, where are we? Why do we sing this song of third largest all the time? Anyway, as I said, there are many issues which need further discussion, and when the time comes, we'll also discuss these issues, and maybe post-budget, once the budget is presented, we'll have one episode exclusively devoted to the budget also. Thank you, Dr. Swamy. Thanks, Swaminathan. Ramesh Swamy, there are 3 Swamis here today. Swaminathan.
At least if Modi sees 3 Swamis talking some sense, listen to at least 3 Swamis, not listen to somebody else. Anyway.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jagdish. Thanks the technical team led by Ashish Shetty. They are doing wonderful job. We have reached 256th episode of this program, Words of Wisdom, Gyan Ganga. We'll continue to do that with the help of this expert technical team led by Ashish Shetty, Gadgi Rakesh, Ishwar Iyer, Swaminathan, Tejas Navalgul, Ajesh Nair, and Gurdat Shetty. Thank you once again. We will be meeting next Sunday, 8 p.m. in Indian Standard Time with a new topic and Dr. Subramanian Swamy. Till then, Namaskar, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.